Why am I nauseous? That's not good. I'm gonna sleep too, bro. Why am I nauseous? Let's have one of these and see tapioca. Oh yeah, it's comfortable. Another one, those was good. There you go.
The US government has developed some of the most advanced and dangerous technologies in the world. Among these, few are more infamous than the atomic bomb. It's no surprise then that the US invested a great deal of effort into researching the effects of radiation. Many of these experiments were ethical and productive, but some were not. And perhaps the worst was Project Sunshine. Starting in 1953, the US wanted to know whether ongoing atomic tests were affecting the general population. The Atomic Energy Commission debated over how they could investigate such a sensitive subject, and eventually settled on a grim solution. They would secretly steal bodies, mostly those of babies and children, and conduct tests on them. Members of the project were told to secretly work, quote, through personal contacts with foreign doctors to slowly assemble samples. It would arouse less suspicion to spread out the body snatching across the world, rather than gather them all in one place. Documents record the AEC commissioner at the time claiming, if anybody knows how to do a good job of body snatching, they will really be serving their country. From Britain to Australia, US agents retrieved parts or whole bodies of young children to measure the amount of strontium-90 being absorbed into their bones. Secrecy meant that they didn't ask the parents first. Grieving parents would simply find that their child's body had mysteriously gone missing, or were fed a lie for why the body couldn't be returned to them. In one famous case reported in Britain, a mother was prevented from personally preparing her son's body for the funeral because doctors had to hide the fact that they'd removed his legs and sent them away for Project Sunshine. Scientists used the samples in experiments and produced several studies, none of which revealed the true origins of their material. The AEC maintained that the advancements in medical knowledge were worth the ethical violations. All in all, 1,500 bodies were stolen or cut up to fuel Project Sunshine's experiments. While the experiments themselves were known for decades, it was only much later that the theft of human bodies became known. In 1995, President Clinton set up a committee to investigate radiation experiments, of which Project Sunshine proved to be the most controversial. Their report concluded that while the AEC had given plenty of thought to the legality of body snatching, quote, there is no evidence that it sought to consider any independent ethical requirements for disclosure to the families of the subjects or the subjects themselves.
That's my boy. You ready for a treat? Yeah. You want it now? No? You want to lay down?
Sunshine was just one unethical medical experiment undertaken by the US government. Perhaps the most dubious of all was the infamous Tuskegee experiment. This experiment...
Enough of that shit. Get your nuts on my face, boy. Be scrapping, man. Be scrapping. Get your nuts up my face, boy. just gonna go ahead and get it in. You see what I put up there. I don't want to say something that might be wrong. I don't want to push the envelope. But, you know, we're dealing with a time where the envelope is being sealed around us. Not necessarily all of us. I can care less about a piece of paper envelope with some old poisonous toxic glue on it. I was just reading on something because I was looking for this individual, this German, Afro-German. They weren't called Africans or nothing. They were Afro-Germans, still original people of the land. And I was looking for this young man who was tortured, but then he got his revenge later on by certain individuals. We have always been made to believe that the Third Reich and the Hitler and all that stuff, and you know by who, the same people who messed up people up over here. We'll get into that in a minute. Because you said, you know, the victors write the story of the war. I was looking for this young Afro-German who was tortured, and I was looking for the individuals that did it. But you never want to get this consistency in the narration or the truth of the story. You're always going to get something that plays out later. And as you've seen some of the stuff, information I shared with you, I showed you melanated people and pale skin people who are bought off in parliament and the governments and everything. Good boy. Okay. And it's always the case. So I found the young man. And I was looking to his story. And what amazes me about the story is the same nonsense that we hear. It's always ramping up. It's always changing. It's always changing. Let me make sure I got it right. Is it Scram or is it Sherman? I'm making sure I'm not spelling the name wrong, people. It is Scram. Yeah. Okay. Now, what's Gert Scram was a survivor of Buchenwald concentration camp, where he was the youngest of 6 melanated prisoners. It says black, but we know he was the son of a German woman and an African American. We know that African American is a new term because I've been doing this research from its inception of the internet, and there was no such thing as African American being used anywhere. This is why I want you to see how important it is to recognize the industrial complexity, and the fake 13 Ashkenazis, and the fact that it's not all the people who are occupying the land they don't belong to in Palestine, but it's the people within all the governments, the people who are running behind the secret orders of these individuals, these bastardizations of these bastards of these individuals. And I was reading about him, okay, who survived Buchenwald concentration camp, where he was the youngest of 6 black prisoners. He was the son of a German woman and an American, a melanated, autochthonous American man, father, and was arrested in violation of Nazi racial purity laws. Complete bullshit. Who's been following me on Facebook since at least since 2014 at least. I've been on there since the beginning. And I showed hundreds of pictures of not just the African core and the Chinese, the Mongolian, or the Hindu, or the Japanese, or the American Negroes, thousands who fought in the Blitzkrieg because they didn't believe in what was happening. And they detested what the fake Jews had done over there, from the pornography, the perversions, the movie industry, the rewriting of history, the whiting out of historical faces, the Moors, everything, the proto-Afro-Germanic people. Who you think erased that history? The same bastards over in Palestine. The ones over here, that all of a sudden this one fat fuck stood down when everything was to take in. You know who I'm talking about. Okay? And so-called the Franklin House. They call the White House, which is not. Okay? So I read his story, and then I went to look for the individual, the man, the German man. And they say he's the only black survivor, black German survivor. It's a lie. Because even during the Third Reich, there were still German women and Afro-American or melanated men of that land still getting together, having babies. You can't make this up. I know plenty. I dated one when I was in Kiel, Germany, whose family, you could see it on the wall. So if it was so racial purity, why were their pictures still in this 27-bedroom mansion, Tartarian building? They were all medical professions. 3 of the men served in World War II for on the side of so-called Hitler, who was an Ashkenazi his damn self. And then I want you to hear about what the U.S. government and other governments were doing with foreign doctors stealing bodies of children, and they say dead. We know a lot of live ones, and they need live subjects because some of the pictures are live. For the uranium, plutonium, and this, that, and other, because when they come across all this knowledge, they had to find out how it works and if it's safe or not, which they would sacrifice their own lives doing. We're dealing with a very sick group of individuals. You look at this. Let me put this out there for you. Nashville, Tennessee, so-called 28-year he, she, him, right? Has a Kel-Tec 9mm. These dumb idiots in the media, Fox or whatever, still can't even get it right, calling it assault weapon. The assault is the individual creating the crime. The weapon is a platform. This is how stupid they are. And the military industrial complex know that the majority of y'all are dumb. AR is Armalite, has nothing to do with assault rifle. This is how they created, what is that lunatic statement? Conspiracy theory. In order to have a conspiracy, you must have a theory that a conspiracy exists. And if you have a theory that a conspiracy exists, now the theory is supplemented and based upon what? The conspiracy. So who is conspiring to that develops the theory that a conspiracy exists? So what they did was they took 2 words, phonetically compatible conjunctions that can run with each other, and they threw it out there to show you how the lamentation of zero fluxation happens in your brain. That your synapses aren't firing off. And that was around the crucible of when they were really dumping a lot of fluoride and certain soft metals, aluminum in the water. The same water they were drinking then, now they've got it. These people have been drinking it for the last 50 years. It ain't no fresh water coming from the lakes and the rivers and the oceans. It's the same water they keep treating and removing the sludge, and no God knows what they're doing with the sludge, people. Soil and green, anybody? That's why you find fecal matter at such a low trace in all these foods. Look, man, we're dealing with some sick individuals. And sometimes you can see in the meetings when some of them generals are sitting there looking like they're not even real. So here's a picture of the gentleman. Gert Skram. If it's even him. As I look at this picture of him, and I look at the young man, I'm having a hard time pulling a picture of the young man. But this is him right here. Hold on. I can't stand pictures with Alamy. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I actually have the picture of him when he was a young one. I just want to see if there's a newer one. Okay. All right. What hot aunt? One Swanson man. Okay, I've got a picture. No, I can't do a side by side. I could, but I'm not going to do all that right now. I want you to see this picture of this individual. And then I want you to see his puppy. It's Padre. I want you to see the craziness. I don't want you to go crazy. I just want you to see the craziness of it all. So this is the young man, Gertrude. Okay? Now that you take a good look at that. Here he is. Supposedly, that's him. Not too long ago. Here he is with a picture next to his, I believe, his great-grandpa, Padre. Now, we know that in black and white, and that's, I used to paint or draw using quill ink pens for art. And it's making dots, thousands of dots once you get your outline. Your number 2 outline or your charcoal outline, then you start hitting dots. And I used to make portraits and paintings like this of quails and flamingos and all these things where you don't have to see the pink, the color, but the dotting, the shading, you would know what the animal is, and the color would almost illuminate in your head because you already have been programmed or conditioned to know what it is. So what I did was I was actually predictive programming as well. And I gave you 3 different sets of pictures. I gave you him, Gert Schulman, as a young child, being held prisoner, okay, in his native country, Germany. And I gave an older version, still in Germany. And then I gave a side-by-side comparison of his great-grandpa, supposedly. What we don't see is the fact that there were many millions of melanated and Germanic people still of their land. And why am I sharing this? Because we are dealing with a system based on these 13 tribe motherfuckers and those who work in cohort with them. And I've been telling you, let me pull this up so you can hear this. All right. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm taking my time here. I'm not in no rush right now. Okay, there we go. Pull that one up. In the Islamic tradition, he is usually regarded as the ancestor of the Gog and Magog tribes. Tribes, not one person. Islamic tradition also tends to identify the descendants of Japhet as including the Turks, Khazars, Chinese, Mongols, and Slavs. They are all fucking related. In what position are they all being placed in? Right now, are you aware that Iran are the Sephardic Ashkenaz? What was I reading to you about the different partials of breakoffs from those who will later become Hasidic, which is not even an identity of the true Hebraic people, based on their rabbinical order and everything else that has nothing to do with Hebraicism, the life of to which we own nothing. Why is it that it's not, which is complementary? It's funny how we didn't own or name anything. That's in our dialect and our history. I come over here and they go, oh, that's Navajo Mountain. I'm like, no, it's not. I said, if you're really indigenous, we don't name nothing. What is that for? Then they're using a word that I knew that meant our enemy. I knew that since I was a teenager. And they're looking at me, who was this man? Who was this young man? Or this older young at the time, some 10 years ago. And see, this is where they think they really want to win. Because see, all they know is death and mayhem. They don't know the construction of life because they're too busy perverting the lives that they have. And I'm showing you, look at this right here. Nashville, Tennessee. Not to get off the topic. I had to say what I had to say. 28-year-old, this person was supposed to be really intelligent. They got the whole thing laid out. Goes and kills 3 children and 3 adults. And they go in there swooping and kill or whatever, right? Look how fast they released the video. When has that ever happened? The way this idiot was walking around looked like they just went and got this motherfucker about the asylum, put some camouflage pants, gave him a cheap-ass Caltech, because they knew last time they gave this motherfucker who hadn't had a job equipment that I can't even afford unless I save up for a few months. All right, now I'm just saying, I got all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying that the majority of y'all who are working 9 to 5 slave labor for this fiat, worthless fiat, okay, which was nothing wrong with it, but the purpose is to destroy you and to make everybody look at you as bad because this is the old world. They need everybody out in the world to be one of their little half-bred creations of stupidity and everything else. And thank goodness the majority of the outside world is not stupid. It seems the more incredulous they become, the more vile things they do, the more people are recognizing it. What the problem is you people who are standing here, especially these black conservative and all these worthless niggas, Tatum reporting all these, Trump and this, that, and the other, and they're secular to keeping the division. Y'all don't get how deep this is. People in our own backyards are part of the program. We have women who are weak and they're emotionally disturbed because they don't have a good man in their life, and when they get one, they don't know what to do with it. So they hold on to the disturbedness and make it right in their head. That's a what I call a black Karen mentality. And it is something in the water and the food in liberal cities and states. Prove me wrong. I've seen brothers and sisters leave these liberal cities and states, and for some reason, all of a sudden they start thinking and looking different. Every last one of them. I can give you 3 names right now. But see, some of y'all can't have a hard time believing because you can't let go, and you don't even know why you can't. You have every excuse and reason, right? Do you think we're making methamphetamine? China's making it more than anybody, and it's coming through South America. It's coming through every goddamn border and on planes. Because this goddamn government is the one who created the stuff. And what did they do? They brought the motherfuckers here, right? To work on what? The Apollo paperclip and all that shit. They made it in Germany, right? What's the first thing they did? Put it on the reservations. They say, oh, these are our half brothers. These are our relations. But, we kill our own. We don't care about all that. Y'all did a good job. We've used you long enough. We're still going to support the bullshit with you, though, and keep the circle running with all the other idiots in the country, believing that y'all are the natives of the land. They kill their own. They don't give a fuck. And we're supposed to be divided and separated, running around in our little facsimiles, believing that we have control over one another. This is the problem with many of you. You think you are in control of each other, and you ain't even in control of yourself. I've been doing my damnedest to tell you this, but motherfuckers won't even watch the lives. They want everybody to watch them go on Google time. They bullshit, and I support you motherfuckers, but I'm going to stop unsupporting you motherfuckers. I've subscribed to every one of you motherfuckers. I'm sitting here. I'm saying to myself, what is really going on? Why is that y'all have a hard time getting this? Why is it that y'all have such a hard time getting this? When I become a Samanam in Taekwondo, right? It's not bragging rights. This is a story. It's a real one. My ex-wife always reminds me of it by saying, you remember how all the kids and the parents were coming to you saying, could you show me how to do that? And you're in the class with the teachers who are teaching you. It wasn't because I executed it better. It was because my tempo, with all my ailments, bad knees, have a knee brace on, back brace, just pushing through everything, working out like I was retarded, being at all the cultural fairs, just like I did with Grandmaster Cam Lee in Florida, doing the lion dance. Yes, I used to be the head of the lion. Sometimes the witch god that tames it, jumping up on the palm blossom balls, which were low on the ground, but still jumping on them and never falling off. I could have did them if they were 6 feet high, because that's how I was fluid in that. And then doing the forms, doing the 5 ancestral Shaolin forms, the animal, to precision. And people thought that I was, because I always wore a mask, I thought I was Chinese. And I would take the mask off at the end, at 170 pounds, just I was that good shape. I was still in the military when I was doing the cultural affairs with Grandmaster Cam Lee, the 5th great grandson of one of the original Shaolin monks. He was a very dark man. I believe he's still alive, about 90 something, down there in Orlando, Florida, somewhere. I talked to him on the res, and he says, "You go ahead and teach him, James." He told me I can go ahead and teach his chin style of Tai Chi Chuan. And the people used to run up to me and say, "Could you teach us?" I was like, "I'm not even a Savana. I'm not." That was when I was a red belt, 2 black stripes, and you had to earn your black belt. At least I had to, you know, and I did it in 9 months. Not 12 years, not 7 years, not 5 years. It wasn't bought like some of theirs. I did it in 9 months. How? Because I remembered everything. I went home and practiced. My wife used to be outside in the back looking at me, just practicing for hours, forms, breaking stuff, buying number 2 pencils, like breaking 25, then working on breaking 20, bridge hands and palm strikes. I want you to hit an efficacy behind it. Going to where I worked Home Depot at night while I was in college, getting an hour, 2 hours of sleep, studying, eating as healthy as I can, getting these boards, I wasn't getting breakable boards. I wasn't scoring. I was getting real plywood and breaking them with my hand. And I remember my Kwanjina, Shula, looked at me and says, "No, you don't want to, you're going to break your hand." I was like, "I've been breaking real boards since I was in high school. Wood. That's how we did it." And he watched me do a 2-finger board break with a 33rd degree Masonic. There's a picture floating around out there somewhere. A video. This brother, this pale skinned brother who I love to death. It was a Mason, 33rd degree, don't matter. He traveled the world, architecture and design. And he just loved me, and I loved him. He was a good brother. My wife loved him. And he's the one that he was going to pay for me to go to England and do some board breaking. I told him I'd go on my own. I was in all the martial art expos and demos, plenty of videos. I just don't like sharing them no more. Spanish dude that committed suicide. Seen some of y'all might have seen the picture with the little white karate blow up thing and me shaking his hands with the glasses. Loved him to death, man. Very troubled. I wish I could have stayed there and not left. I may have been able to help him. That's the complex I have. Anyway, everybody, I did the 2-finger board break with a real plywood when that's not the wood that we're using to do it. And they were all looking at me, and that's how I got. Well, I had to go to an actual ex-Rock Marine Korean guy that worked a cleaner. Matter of fact, 5 blocks away from where I lived at by a diner I love to get my fries, all right? And my salad, fries and salad, y'all. I would train under him for about 5 to 6 months, and he would beat me up so bad. Now, I wouldn't fight back like with jiu-jitsu and Samoan bone breaking and Krav Maga. I would allow him to discipline me the way, and I mean, I was wearing traditional, this heavy-ass Taekwondo, sweating in 70, 80 degrees in this backyard, and I had to be silent. No matter what bamboo strike hit my leg or my arm. We're talking about a person with bad knees and back, bro. And he was amazed at how I took the pain and kept moving. And then he brought out the rings, and I was like, "That's Kung Fu. I know about the rings." And we put them on my arms, and I put the Velcro part up here so the rings wouldn't fly off. And I started, bam, bam. And then I realized that all this stuff that everybody saw General Toya and he doing was because he was on cancer. He had cancer. And the medicine, he was popping through. It was forcing himself to fight until he succumbed. And they started adding that. And that's when I lost disrespect for Taekwondo, because the pale skins took over. And they perverted something. So under the General Chilean Yi, I still practiced the official fighting form. And I learned it from one of his greatest students. He was a World War II and Korean War veteran and Vietnam, combat vet in America. Beat my ass in the street. And he gave me not just the first Osabanan, but the second Nan. He was amazed at all the forms that I remembered, and some of the forms I'm not even supposed to know. We are so important, and they have become so perverted, and yet y'all won't listen to a voice with rationale because you think you know me. That's like people meet me and they think they know me. You don't even take the time to see me. How can you know me? You see the physical. You're not, oratorially, you're not hearing me. By scale, you're not paying attention to what you see. And there's nothing great. There's nothing less. You're not allowing the self. You're not. You believe there's no equal. You believe there's some kind of up and down playing field. No, you're not looking for the equality and the vibration. You're not looking for the proper frequency. The drum line they call it in that movie. What's that? When they get that, the drum line is like before anything goes this way, or it duds. And some of y'all really think that I've got the information. And that's the problem with us. They've done this by poisoning us. If you take a vitamin B1, this is synthetic. No, it'll benefit you at minimal. You know what I'm saying? But it's synthetic. So it will help the body in the harshest of times. But you cannot supplement with that for your blood pressure or anything. You must know the food forms, and that's why they keep perverting the food. Why? Because you allow them to. You let them pervert the food. You let them pervert your children. You let these certain individuals. Have y'all looked at the dynamics of the makeup of the people teaching in the schools? Have you really walked through and looked? And then the old hard-headed niggas who sit there and just, I'm getting a paycheck, everything is normal. They're not thinking that, but that is what it is. And they don't care about, well, I'm about out of here. Instead of fixing the issue, we're dealing with weak fucking people. Excuse my language. No, don't excuse it, because I'm not cussing. I'm saying what the fuck needs to be said. We have allowed people to come on our land and marginalize and make up shit that is pure bullshit. Germany, there were thousands, hundreds of thousands, not millions, hundreds of thousands of motherfuckers of all kind of crayon colors and shit fighting for that motherfucker. And many of our people fought right alongside with the motherfuckers. But what they do is why I pulled this up was to show you Yaphet, the very motherfuckers who are moving in all the positions around our globe. I mean, our earth, not globe. The little world they created, globe. Yaphet, the descendants of Yaphet, as including the Turks, Khazars, Chinese, Mongols, and Slavs. Need I say any fucking more? Who come from Gomer. For you religious motherfuckers. Now, I have an issue with religion. I really do. Because I understand its perversion at a deeper fucking level. I'm not gonna sit here and I ain't got the time to go through all that. A lot of you think you know, and I guarantee you don't fucking know, but regardless of that, you're on the right track. These motherfuckers leave shit in your face and then spit in your face at the same time doing the bullshit they do, and nobody can research the simplest fucking. This shit is in the fucking Bibles and the Quran. It's everywhere. Why is it that we listen to all these TD Jakes while y'all listen to all these motherfucking TD Jakes, this, that, and the other, and they don't tell you this shit? And then you see them hugged up like, Farrakhan with the very same motherfuckers, kissing them on the cheek and shit. Some people will say, wait, damn it, Jim, you're part Dutch. What the fuck is that? Nigga, I'm of the old world. I don't get none of you new world motherfuckers because y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all dealing with. You don't even know what it is you've consummated to. You don't know the truth of history. But you run behind all these motherfuckers who find a news article, this, that, and other, who wouldn't have known to look for a news article if I've not said nothing since 1994. Don't give me that cheap song. It's all bullshit. Libraries in 1978, all the way up. I was in microfiche looking through all this shit, looking at all these old newspaper articles. When I mention newspapers, I would get smacked in the head. We don't talk about that newspaper. We don't talk about that newspaper here, Jimmy. Jimmy Mack, when are you? That's all I used to get. So save your shit. And a lot of you motherfuckers weren't even born, so bullshit. I keep saying this because nobody's looking at what's going on right now. And the fact that they don't mind killing their own if they're really killing their own. There are women, and I watched a video on these women who would get pregnant by these men who would birth these children in and give the babies away and walk away with like fucking 20 and 30 and $40,000. Some women had shit 16, 17 babies. Fucking damn near consecutively. I'm like, well, that thing must be just in the fucking wind. That's not how it works, y'all. Talking about very healthy, very voluptuous, beautiful women. I'm sitting there going, you got to be kidding me. This is real. Denial, because it's something new. I don't know. And that says, no. And quickly I snapped out of him and says, oh, of course this is real. Of course. Fuck yeah. And you can go on. It's more. It's so much more. The youngest son creating the most fucking problems. Yaphet. Have any of y'all ever read about Gomer? Read about Yaphet's son Gomer, who was actually where the Ashkenaz come from. The Mongrels and the Mongols. They're one and the same. They're not Mongolians. It's a usurped, an identity stolen. Study it. Stop listening to this fed motherfucking ex-police officer and all his little cronies around him with the IUIC. My cousin Lonnie's part of that shit. And some of them other people are part of that shit, because you see something that glamorizes you as if powerful, right? The motherfuckers haven't done shit. Have they chopped down? Have they destroyed one of these repeating towers? What the fuck have they done? They haven't done a goddamn thing. We're watching the street. Look at us in purple, dressed up, looking like motherfucking stormtroopers. Like, so the fuck what? Then the niggas on the corner looking all retarded. Gorilla, what's his name? And this, that, and the other. Hey, you're gonna burn in fiery hell and blah blah blah. And you standing up in Harlem with all that shit on from the Caribbeans, telling dumb niggas up there who don't know no better, come on, religion, and you're the Israel and the few Jews, without even having context of truth. So again, Afro Germans. There's never no such thing as an African fucking American. So whenever I see these little fucking gimbos, these idiots come along talking about, I'm an African American and I'm like, since Obama got in office, they have, and our parents and aunts and uncles have literally fucked the pooch. Screwed the pooch. That's your people and your families as well. Do you turn around and hold them accountable, or do you just piss a bitch? See, mine don't even know how to respond. They don't want to say nothing. All the teachers, all of them, they'll come and watch this and won't say a goddamn thing, because they can't even accept being wrong, and even though they know they are, they have no humility. And these are all religious motherfuckers. Celebrate Christmas and don't know the first thing about Saint Nick, the true original story. Don't know shit, actually. They choose to be ignorant. I guess you say stuck in the fucking matrix. Nashville, Tennessee. This is the military industrial complex. Now, I know how many people were shot and murdered yesterday. Fuck that shooting. They tell you about any of them executions, some of the neighborhoods, families. They tell you about this couple of beaten deaths and bodies got hacked up down there in New Mexico. They tell you about how many more innocent people were shot by cops and a hell of fucking bullets for no sense, no reason at all. They tell you about the drunk driver or drivers cause a truck to overturn and blow up and kill a whole lot of folk. No, because see, that won't disarm you from protecting yourself. So they got this fake fraudulent president, this motherfucker they call president. Because we know that Bush was the mother, Obama really was the one who started doing this executive order shit. That's really illegal because these aren't real presidents. They want you to be armed, but the thing is, what's funny and which is beautiful at the same time, the majority of people ain't giving up shit. So they're willing to sacrifice a whole bunch of alphabet motherfuckers, kill them with all some little special equipment and weapons and reach around corners and shoot behind you and blow up. That's the reason why they developed this, to use here and use it overseas, testing it on people. You motherfuckers just ran around worried about 9 to 5, what you have, what you're going to attain, what you got. I have a hard time donating $5 or $10 to James because you know what? Somebody's donating. They're doing it. Fuck that. I ain't donating shit because you know you got a crack problem or something. You like to buy pussy? You got to get your porn? Overspend on some weed that you could probably grow if you knew the laws? Or you have some other issues you don't want to be honest about? I come hard on this because I know it's a lot of you, and only a handful have always been donating. I don't need them to donate all the time. They're not my piggy bank. It's to buy books that I chip in myself. Now over half to read to you. I'm just throwing this in there because I'm obliged to do this because I'm surprised at the sacrilege of those of you who sit there like this. And I know I'm behind you going, I ain't giving a shit. And it's not that you don't have it. You're deplorable in your thinking. You marginalize yourself because you won't free yourself. This has been an experiment for me to sit here and have you guys put in the Cashapp. I didn't have Cashapp, created it for the sole purpose of getting y'all so I can read these books. Oh yeah, I'm gonna hang up. I'm going to eat some. My stomach's a little sour this morning. It's kind of weird, so I ate some sea moss. Okay, and I have no secrets. There's things I won't talk about because it's really none of your business. But if I feel a need to talk about it, I'll broach upon it. And I know how to do it without beating the person up. That person may feel beat the fuck up, but that's for them to change their motherfucking less than great expectations of themselves. Now, like I was saying, I buy a lot of books, right? I buy a lot on my own. I share the amounts with you that you donate. It's shit, but it's beautiful. Especially when, what's his name? Tariq gave $75 fucking dollars. I jumped on 2 of them big ass books when they come here, thrift bookstore. I was sitting there going, holy shit. So I said, no, I really got to keep reading. There's no way around it. It doesn't matter how I feel about certain things going on and certain people's posts and what I see y'all comment on people y'all follow. I see a lot of y'all shit. Instagram, Facebook. I see y'all comment on certain people's, and I'm looking at you like you ain't fucking that dumb. Because you come over here just to motherfucker, no, pay attention to what the fuck I'm saying. The military industrial complex is just one cog. Secret orders, another cogs. How did they indoctrinate people? Are you not paying attention to all these little foreign motherfucking frappies and these dumb niggas and everybody else running around with Black Lives Matter and motherfucking Antifa and everything else? These dumb ass pale skins walking around talking about Aryan right, blah, blah, blah. Don't know the first thing about what the fuck they're talking about. The Sons of Confederacy, the whole hypocrisy and the lie behind that. These motherfuckers really ain't won shit, but they keep rewriting the shit, convincing you that they won, but you motherfuckers are succeeding in giving them the motherfucking belt. That's WWE. I'm not even stepping up in the ring. Hell, I'm not even coming out the goddamn green room. Fuck y'all. Just throw the belt out in the hallway. They won. That's what the fuck you motherfuckers do. You just don't get it. I watch y'all. I watch all of you every day. Beautiful thing on the internet. watch your posts. I look at what you talk about. I still read. I do my time. It don't take a lot of time. That's what I'm saying. We always make an excuse to not do shit. Like, I know I got to get up, put my knee brace on, right? And do my little 25 to 50 squats, right? Get down, do my little 20 to 30 push-ups. That's no more than that. Grab my little 15-pound dumbbells and do a succession of fucking 5 minutes just to get the heart rate up, which I don't really need to hit you with because my heart's always pounding like a fucking rocket. No, seriously, it is. I know that I'm talking good shit to some good people. And I know that other people I'm just talking. That's all it is. There's no vibration or frequency because even through here it comes out at 8440 hertz. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? You think they would develop all this shit and not tweak it? Always putting in all these updates, forced updates. Some of y'all seen them on your own little platforms that you think you own. Little green light, they're being nosy as fuck watching. I'm not saying a lot of key things. I'm saying things because I need you to use that. People get caught up in their little world, and when you approach upon their little fake world and you hurt their little fucking feelings, they run. That's all they know how to fucking do. And then they think, not just to think, they believe that you're not conquering them when it's not about conquer. They're conquering themselves. Every thought that they have is a precedence of how low they feel. It has nothing to do when you have to tell a person how you are and remind a motherfucker, or they didn't pay attention, or they didn't get the fucking memo, and then they run. That shows you who that motherfucker really is. That they might need to stop dibbling and dabble every once in a blue fucking moon, or they need to get their head even on a clear plane level, like sea level. Extra terrestrial, instead of being something outer worldly when the world is you, the universe is within you. This is not made up shit. If I want you to look beyond yourself, I need you to look outside yourself, right? Outside, beyond. What's beyond inverted to its original meaning? Beyond the scope, the paradigm of what you've been relegated to be able to viscerally see, believe that this is just words and a sound, not that it's a frequency or vibration, that you can go beyond this, the scope of what you visually have been compromised to see, instead of seeing deeper, beyond, eternally, to not just listen and hear, but to oratorily make sound into colors by way of this up in here. You see what I'm saying? See, we think, oh, this is the only thing I see colors with. Nigga, y'all never seen the young brother who, and he sees vision. He's actually getting a night vision. He can see everything in green and black, and lately it's becoming more clear for him. Blind as a bat, for those who believe what the word blind means. And we're talking about the retinal and the iris and all that, that it's, no, he can see vibrations and frequencies, paint a picture. You know, Matrix, the green numbers. Remember he's standing there, he bends time and space, then all of a sudden he sees everything as it is. 10011100011, the binary codes. That's why they attack this, to kill it. And your gut health is important to how everything else works. But I know I'm just talking a whole lot of shit, right? Hitler's Arab and black soldiers. Well, it's funny that it says Hitler's Arab and black soldiers when the Hindus were darker than most of them motherfuckers, and there's a lot of Japanese and Chinese who are just as dark. And I got the pictures. I've shared them. And they've run about and they've run around. And it's amazing that even right to now, they've even made it more racist. A history that it really didn't exist. They made it more racist. These 13 fake, fraudulent motherfuckers doing everything. I just want to come on and talk about it. I'm done. I pay attention to my thoughts, gut, anything, everything. Get some shout outs to get the fuck up off of here. Rondo, what's going on, brother? Ricky Carlisle, what's going on, family? How you doing? That's one of my guys I serve with. That's one of my brothers. I love them very much, y'all. Hope your health is doing well there, brother Ricky. Gray Wolf, peace and love, brother. Creator 7, what's cracking? Hey, Tolo, what's going on, mama? Grand Elevations. See, Moses, why would we name things Navajo Mountain, maybe where the Navajo tribe set up? No, that's not the fuck. Pay attention to what I'm saying. We didn't name shit. Why would we name order? There's no reason to name a goddamn thing. See, that's ownership, entitlement. That's their shit. In order to distract and reverberate through time itself and not through real time, to make you believe as they raise the next generation, one generation to change history into stupidity. When I tell you something, just listen. We never own nothing. We belong to it. When they say, oh, they took the land for this, that, and other. No, they created an idea. And there's wars and everything else that always precedes everything. And then they created an education system by J.D. Rockefeller's father, which he institutionalized in 1901 and 1933, and in the 1960s, took it full bore with the OSS or the CIA fucking A. It's not our way. That's what happens when you get out there and you start buying coaches and Louis Vuitton and this, that, and other. Look what I'm rocking. I'm looking stupid, brought up in a generation perverted by the very same fucking people I'm talking about it, who fucked the music industry up somewhere in the 90s from Chuck D and all of us when we were rapping, we were making sense. We're tired of the pain. They wanted not to make sense. They wanted more pain because they needed you motherfuckers to be dumber than we were. And you're paying attention now, we didn't own shit. We belong to everything. And everything belonged to us. Think. Joshua Northern, what's cracking? What's going on, family? All right. So I'm starting to fuck off because I do get emotional behind this because I don't like when brothers and sisters who are so fucking beyond the scope of intelligence or smart don't take the little seeds I give them and just fucking allow them to migrate and become something more. You motherfuckers are so goddamn lazy. See y'all in a little bit to read books.